This is the second try. I hope it works better this time. I'm Nathalie Hoyos, and together with Reinhard Schumacher, we curated the exhibition Family Skin by Aneta Grzeszykowska at the Francisco Carolino Museum in Linz. It can be seen until February 2021. Unfortunately, in November, it will be closed due to the lockdown. But we all hope very much that from December on, you can all see the show again. Family Skin is the first museum exhibition by Aneta Grzeszykowska in Austria. And now I see her coming, so be in a second. Does it work? Okay. Aneta, are you in? So until we are waiting, it should work now very soon. Until we are in, maybe I can introduce Aneta briefly to you. Aneta is born in 1974 in Warsaw, where she still lives and works. And in her art is mainly about the search for identity and what identity is how identity is constructed. And in her photos, she uses her own body most of the time, with related with it, like beauty, nudity, disguise, vulnerability, and transience. We show, it doesn't work somehow. I can't have raster gallery in. Aneta, I just invited you. So if you accept, you should be in a second. Super. Hello, Aneta.
Oh, okay. Hi. That's the opposite side of me.
Hi. Good. No.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Where are you?
I'm in Warsaw.
In your studio?
Excuse me?
In your studio?
Yes.
Nice. Very nice. So I'm trying, I will put my set on maybe, because maybe the sound is better then. So I'm very happy to have you, Aneta. And we just opened this exhibition of you Family Skin at the Francisco Carolinum a few days ago. And maybe I think the best thing would be to show the visitors a little bit how the exhibition looks. Graphic series you are doing, because you always work in larger series, and we presented like now works from some of your sculptured works. The title Family Skin, how did you come up with the title?
As you remember, we were preparing the plan for a particular part of the gallery, and I was trying to divide works in different themes, let's say, because as you know, my work is quite formally different. So I made the scheme using the keywords, and there were two of them, family, skin, and I thought maybe that's the title and it's enough. And I find this title quite paradox, because focused on I'm sorry, I had a phone. It's more focused on the surface. So this skin work is very connected with my art practice, and also with the concept which is still visible in my work. So, and of course we have this cosmetic aspect here, family skincare, which was always very interesting for me, that these three words somehow exist in our, let's say, web imagination. So it also provoked me to use these two words. Yes.
Yeah, I also think it's a beautiful title and it fits very well to the exhibition. Maybe I can show, and this is like the first room when you enter, and there we can see a sculpture that has the form of a young girl sitting on a stool.
I'm sorry,
And
I
that
have to... Jasiek, dźwięki przestał działać. Szybciutko. To jest zadzwonił? Nie. I'm sorry for a moment.
Don't worry.
No.
Okay.
Wiesz co, nie mam pojęcia, dlaczego też...
Wezmę słuchawkę.
No, spróbuj. Just a second. Nie wiem, dlaczego tak jest.
Dobra, poczekaj.
Hello, Aneta?
Hello?
Yeah. Is it better
Okay.
now?
Now I can hear you because I put on
musisz
my
trzymać
speakers.
daleko.
Okay, I
Very
have to
good.
keep like this. I'm
Super.
sorry. Cool.
No problem, don't worry. So, and this little doll we see here, this is called Francisca 2018, I think. And
Yes.
we have some of these dolls or sculptures within the exhibition. There are 3 in all. And I think it's very interesting because if I understood that right, it's like a projection of your daughter in a few years. So when you make the sculpture, that was in 2015, I think, you imagine her how she will be in 2018, right?
Yes, sewing these sculptures like the dolls was, in fact, I was making this all the time, but when my daughter was born, I thought that I would be very happy to make the sculptures of her, but I didn't know how she will look like in the future, right? So I decided to imagine that situation, and when she was born, I started this series, and now I think it's consisted of, I think 15, or no, not 15, but maybe 10 dolls, and yes, and this is my imagination of her in the future, and yes, and when she is grown up, I make the picture or find the picture in our archive to see how this doll or how Francesca fits to my imagination, let's say. And that's the concept. Yes,
yeah, that's very nice. We also showed 2 of the photos, except for the 2020 sculpture, where I suppose that you don't have a photo so far. But and there I wanted also to ask you about the materiality of these dolls, and also one of them has 2 toys with her, and there I wanted to ask if the toys are really toys that are known in Poland or that are objects of your imagination.
No, these are just objects of my imagination. And what I must say, while I'm working on the sculpture, I never think about the future, right? It's just working with the object. So somehow after a few years, I'm really surprised with my imagination and really trying to find the solution in reality. What fits the situation, but you know, it always fits. But
Yeah,
you can find the connection. You must find the connections, right? And that's enough.
And then, so that was like the family part a little bit when you come in. We will talk later about the role of your daughter in another of your series that are also exhibited. But then I wanted to ask you about beauty, and we have a big series that we also show that is called Beauty Mass. And I might put some of the images here, just that the viewer knows what we're talking about, and maybe you can tell me something about this series.
I think all my works are somehow in the process, right? So that was the series which was made after the selfie, and selfie is the group of photographs showing objects showing my body, but they are all made of the pig skin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somehow this beauty mask series is the continuation, because it's also the documentation of the process of shaping my skin, let's say. But here the skin is really mine, and it's let's say still alive. But what's interesting for me in these photographs is the thing which is behind these masks, which we can't see, right? So yes, that was of course interesting that I could buy all these objects in regular shops.
Yeah, that is totally crazy.
Yes, and that people really use them to shape their skin, right?
Yeah, because it also looks quite painful, actually.
Yes, it is painful, right? But
it's the price you have to pay for beauty.
Yes, beauty is painful. Let's say. Yeah, and that's all. It's kind of documentation, yes, and using the real objects as if they were the advices to prepare the sculptures, which are made from my own body.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And also, you briefly talked about the series Selfie, where you have reconstructed parts of your own body in pigskin. So, why did you use pigskin?
Because it's so human.
Okay.
And as you started the conversation, I'm working with the sculptures, let's say, but anyway, I don't see myself as the sculptor, but I make objects, let's say, and it's natural that I was trying to find different materials to do something new for me. So of course I had to see this skin, which is just in the, again, a regular shop, like the meat shop. When I noticed that it's so similar, I bought a piece of the meat with the skin, and I made the first object, just trying if it's possible, because these technical things are, of course, important. Yes, you can have the idea, but it's not so easy to show this. So I made this first picture, which shows the finger. You
that
showed
one,
at
right?
the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes. And
as you can see, yeah.
Sorry. As you can see, I keep this finger. That's why. Why? Because it was looking this way, so well, and so natural, and so real, only from this perspective. So I just took the photo to remember that there is the potential in this material, and that was the beginning. And then I was trying to imagine what should I do next with this. And after all this process, I thought that this making the picture of this object is just enough.
Mm-hmm.
And this showing the viewer only the object from the proper perspective, and hiding that it's in fact unfinished from another side, right?
So it's also something probably about control over your own picture then?
Yes,
Yes.
it's about the control of, yes, it's also connected with the dolls. These are these artists' problems. I really hate people photographing my dolls in the gallery.
Yeah, that's like you always lose a little bit control of the image once
Yes, exactly.
other people take photos. And
Yes.
I have another question. So this series is called Selfie, and then you have another series that is called Facebook. And
Yes.
how much do social media play a big role for you in your art, or why did you choose those titles, or was it to kind of show something completely else that has the title of selfie, because one would not really think of a selfie, for example, if you see that?
The first title, Selfie, is more, let's say, connected with this process of auto-portrait, let's say, because in fact this word is something similar. It's like the synonym, right? But the Facebook was the reason why I called this series with my faces Facebook was different. I just thought that these two words are somehow stolen.
Okay.
You know, that this is like the book of the faces, showing the emotions, right? And that's why I thought that I will try to prepare a kind of prototypes and not trying to attach this to the social media.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So of course it's quite funny and provocative, but yeah. But let's say these are just emotional states of human face, and this is just the book of the faces.
Okay. And also the transformation which you achieve by putting tape on your face or adding things or things like that. It completely changes the personality almost. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think it's very visible on the exhibition that in fact it's all somehow connected with these masks, right?
Yeah.
From the beginning, from this first series which is exhibited there, which is just the remake of Cindy Sherman, right?
Yeah, exactly. How did you come up with this idea of the untitled film stills? Maybe can you see that or not at all? Is it visible? Yeah, a little bit. So Cindy Sherman, maybe you can tell the viewers what it is about in the untitled film series.
This was in fact my second work. The first one was album,
which was also
not exhibited.
Yeah, which was part of the Berlin Biennale years ago.
Yeah. My first work was somehow the book containing the more than 200 photographs connected with my person, and I made the let's say the change in these photographs, because I just removed myself from all of the photographs. And this untitled film stills work is somehow the continuation of this process, because going back as far as I remember my intention, I was trying to be invisible again, but now in a very different way, just being another person. Of course, in this work you have this paradox because Cindy Sherman already wanted to be someone else, right? But me bringing back Cindy Sherman made that this Cindy Sherman is in my work visible, even if it's not there, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of, let's say, play
That's
with
quite a
the,
large series also, and it has 70 works, like the original works of Cindy Sherman, which she did 30 years ago. And the difference
yes,
is that it's in color with you. And I wanted to ask
yes.
you, how long did it take you to realize that work? Because I imagine it must have been a lot of work to recreate all these interiors and all the disguisements and everything, no?
It was a very pleasant work.
I can believe that. It's also a very beautiful series.
Yes, I really enjoyed this because it was it was not painful.
No, but
It was
long
fun.
probably, no?
I think it was like 1 year
Okay,
maybe,
yeah.
but I was not in a very big hurry, so uh, I rather have a time. So yes, but all the photographs are made in my close surroundings. So it's my flat, it's my building, it's my I don't know, suburb. So it's like this. It
It's
was
all
not
the
very
neighborhood.
complicated.
And
Yeah.
does she know about your series or not?
Yes,
Yes,
I
okay.
think so. Yes.
But she never said anything.
Uh, I hope she said something, but not to me.
Okay, not to you. And so what I think is especially nice in the exhibition, that even though it's not ordered chronologically, you have this idea that it has a thread that is somehow connected on how you are present in the photographs itself. So here in this series, it would be that you slip into another personality. And then
Yes.
in the selfie series, you have your body parts, and in masks, you have your face, also in Facebook. And then suddenly in Mama, I think it's very interesting. It's this series where you have had a torso of your body made, actually just the
Yes.
torso. No? And when your daughter started to play with this doll, let's say, you started to photograph that, and that was the start of a new series. No, it's also the poster of the exhibition, which is a
Yes.
very touching image, I think, with your daughter that covers your eyes with her hands, which is also a very intimate moment. But the funny thing is, when you're the viewer, it also contains some images that provoke an uncanny feeling, or that you have the impression you are watching a horror movie a little bit. So maybe you could tell us something about this series.
Okay, so in fact, first I ordered this sculpture, and because it was quite interesting for me that I try to replace my body with the sculptural objects. So the first you could see this in selfie, right? And then I thought that being this copyist, as in the Cindy Sherman works, can be continued. So I just ordered the copy of me. And it was funny that I thought that it's a bit too late, because this sculpture was somehow the reflection of my body in the moment I made this, right? So yeah, and I made the first series called Model, titled Model, showing the process of preparation of this sculpture. And in this series, I was trying to find the emotions in between people who are in fact working on this object. But then I thought that it's not enough. So I put this sculpture to my flat, and it was just standing there. and waiting, and I was still thinking, okay, this is a great object, but I should do something with this. And suddenly I noticed my daughter playing with this as if it was a doll. So that was it, right? And I thought that it's enough to document this situation, to construct the story, let's say. And yes, so as you can see on these photographs, we took this object to the summer holidays, to our cottage house. Yes, and Francesca was just playing with this, and I was going with the camera. And of course, things you can see are somehow in between being staged or being performed by my daughter, right? But this being without concept was just the concept of this work.
Okay. And how does your daughter feel to be in this series, or does she enjoy the process of working with you, or?
It's very interesting because after my first exhibition of this series in Lies and King Gallery, I had a lot of questions from the audience. How did she feel with this? And it was interesting for me because people forgot that in this situation there were not only these two people, not only this object and my daughter, but there was also me standing behind the camera, right? So things you can see are somehow, I don't know, also the manipulation of the viewer, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Also, if you see this photo, for example, with the plastic bag, the viewer immediately thinks of a kind of crime scene or things like that. But
yes,
which is absolutely not the case, and which is also interesting because that creates a very interesting twist to the whole thing. And also this photo where you have, where you just see feet and your head, which is buried. It really has like something of a horror movie. And also, interestingly enough, I think we all know that feeling from watching horror movies, that you are thrilled at the same time that being completely horrified.
You know, I like this climate because I think this is the only moment where you can experience the feeling of fear without fear.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy this, let's say, medium. And I try to use this emotional aspect in my work, and I always do. Also in this series, where it's very, very visible here, right?
Yeah.
But I really think about my photo series as if they were a film. And in this series, it's really visible that you can imagine the whole story, let's say. And I was trying to put in this story not only fear, but also fun, or somehow I think that it's in between. It's like thinking about our life, that it's like tragic comedy, let's say.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's my intention. I hope you enjoy.
I absolutely do, yeah. So now I think, what happened to the torso now?
It's still waiting for the rest.
Okay. But you would like the other objects of the selfie series, it's not to be exhibited, it's just prop material for the performances.
From selfie series, right?
Yeah, also it's the same probably. Like in the selfie series, also the torso von Mama will never be shown in an exhibition, for example.
No,
No.
absolutely not. But I also have these objects from the selfie series.
Yeah, that's true. They probably
And,
look very different now.
Yes, they look like they look like plastic. It's quite interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, in selfie, it's interesting that for me it was very important that all the parts of the image in the frame are somehow made from the same material. If you could show the picture where the hands are as well. So yeah, so as you can see, this is the pig's skin, which is dead, and these are my hands, which are still alive, made with the skin as well, and also the background is made from the leather. So it's the third stadium of the same thing, just the object, right?
Yeah.
So from this point of view, for me, this work is very, I don't know, connected with this concept of using the same organic material in three stadiums. Let's say.
Yeah. What I was asked when we opened the exhibition was the material of the dolls. They are always made out of white felt. Is there a reason that it's white?
Because the portraits of mine were black.
Okay. Okay, that's a good reason.
I don't know. The reason is very simple. The past is black, the future is white.
Yes, that's true. That's a good reason.
Yeah. I always think about these sculptures that they are just monochromatic.
Yeah.
And
Also,
the color
yeah.
is not so important, but...
Okay. Okay, so maybe does any of the viewers have some questions? I can't see any. No. So I really hope, Aneta, that you will come to Linz also one day when the exhibition is opened again. And I hope that there will be a lot of public that has the chance to see the exhibition. And I thank you very much for this little insight you gave us, for the very informative and interesting insight. And hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye,
See you.
Aneta.
Goodbye.
Ciao.
Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Ciao.